Welcome to another episode of Boxing One Podcast. I'm Briah.
This is Donshay.
M3 Kobe.
Deandra.
Mufasa.
Nohemi.
And we have a good one today. Based off of a question, what was I born to do? And I chose this topic as we were talking off camera, but I chose this topic because as of lately, I chose this topic for two reasons. As of lately, I've been feeling very inspired. I've been feeling like my prayers were like, yo, God, I know I'm one of the chosen ones. I'm anointed. I know I am. I've been feeling like that lately. Ooh. And that's one reason. And another reason, too, is you guys know who Tabitha Brown is?
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys know Tabitha Brown?
How you don't know Miss Tab?
Auntie Tab.
Listen, I will tell you right now.
I ain't know how.
No, hold on. Now listen.
For me, man.
I ain't know how.
No, I'm gonna tell you right now. Listen, I have a daughter. I have a daughter. She will not watch any other kids show. But I have 5 kids. But I got 5 kids. But listen, she will not watch any other kids show. But you put on Tabitha Brown's kids show, I promise she is so sucked in. She's just gonna sit there. She gonna watch it the whole time. She ain't gonna do nothing else.
Wow.
She gonna do nothing.
Bro, you really do.
I appreciate you.
Bro, I thought you were like
I appreciate you for that.
Same thing to your mama, Shay.
I appreciate you for that. You trying to start on my mama?
No, Twin, stop playing with me, bro. Like, what?
I'm on mama, bro.
That's your... Bro, I thought y'all was...
She off limits.
No, see, I'm
No, bro, no.
I'm married to his oldest brother.
No.
So, I'm married to his oldest brother. So...
That's crazy.
And then this is my uncle. Then
the family...
My niece and nephew.
You know I like that.
The gene pool is really, really wide and purified, okay? Listen.
It's a whole lot of melanin in here.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Well, God bless you.
So I asked about Tabitha Brown because I was watching a podcast with B. Simone and her best friend. And Tabitha Brown was saying she has this idea and this opinion that says before we're born, we have a conversation with God and we agree on our assignment for what our life will be.
Jeez.
What do you guys think about that?
I feel like you're absolutely on assignment. And I feel like and I say that because I'm realizing now where I'm at that there are so many things, for example, that I told myself I was going to do. I convinced myself at one point that I was going to be a doctor. I don't even like watching bumps get popped, but I was like, yes, that's going to be it. That was not it, because I am not a doctor. But I find that when you start walking in your purpose, when you start moving the way that you're supposed to move, I don't want to say that things come easy, but I do feel like things fall into place. I feel like you get to the point where you will never enter a room that you are not qualified to be in. You get to the point where every single room, every single space that you're in, you are absolutely supposed to be there.
You want to know something? Now that I see everybody's getting comfortable now, the room is definitely needed right now.
That's right.
So, when we speak about what you're born in to do, the word purpose sticks out to everybody,
And
correct?
that's my next question. What does purpose mean to you?
You see, now
I just want to go back to that first thing you
What
just
does
said.
purpose mean to you?
I think I'm probably the only one sitting at this table that's not very religious at all. So I'll go ahead and say, me personally, I think that purpose is a very vague term that a lot of people get mixed up because they mix their purpose up with their passion sometimes. Mm-hmm. You could be chasing your passion all your life and it might not be your purpose. Some people's purpose is to make a life better for their kids, right? And you don't realize that until you get to having kids. You thought your whole life was to play football. Next thing you know, you end up as a dad and you sit there like, damn, this is what I was meant to fucking do. So at birth to say oh, I just feel like I was called into this world to play this or do that or become this person. That's a tough conversation to have because you going against both passion and purpose. Yeah. I can have a passion for playing football, but my purpose can be something completely different, like changing somebody else's life.
But now you see, now as I was saying, it was basically what you just said is passion and purpose. But first of all, as human, because we're born in sin and shaped in iniquity, correct? Mm-hmm. So fear stops us from a lot of things.
That part. Right.
Fear stops us from fully driving into the purpose. But first of all, what you have to understand is something. Before you can work for the purpose, you got to work for the purpose before the purpose can work for you.
I agree, and I
see what I'm saying. So it's like you got to take right. you got to take yourself out of yourself to discover more about yourself.
Yeah, that's right. And I think fear.
Uh-huh.
I said fear. Fear is a big thing.
That's what I'm saying, because fear plays a huge part into it. Mm-hmm. Because people like to get comfortable in what they're used to. You get what I'm saying? So in order for you to actually find out what you're trying to do first, you got to go back to square one.
And you got to be willing to try anything. You have to be willing to fail. Like, you have to be willing to fail.
Bro, God gonna put you in situations where, from the jump, He know it ain't for you, bro.
Exactly.
But whatever you get from that situation, you're gonna take it to that next situation.
That's right.
You're gonna apply it to that. That next situation may not be for you again. You're gonna learn something from that. So you bring all these situations where you learn it from. You're gonna get to that bigger stage.
But I go to a deeper
You're gonna be
question.
ready for all that.
But think about how many people stay in situations
On
that,
purpose. You see,
But hold
like
up.
people who stay in situations that are not for them.
Okay, hold on. I've been reading a little the book Think and Grow Rich real quick, and I actually find it crazy that you said that because you say he gonna put you in a position where you do something and it ain't for you, so you do the next thing.
Yes.
Are you failing? Are you quitting? Or are you failing or are you quitting? That's what you got to ask yourself because a lot of
Either
times
you're failing.
you're not. You might just
Neither.
be losing. You might be
No,
defeated,
but
but you didn't lose the war.
Exactly. But
Neither.
you see, this is what the analogy that just came to my mind when you said that. There's a story in the Bible about Israel walking in a circle for 40 years, right? For 40 whole
Yeah.
years with Moses leading them, right? But they were walking around the city that they were looking for 40 whole years because they were stubborn. You know what I'm saying? Moses told them, you know what? I'm going to let y'all do your thing. I'm going to go ahead and let y'all do your thing. But the city's literally 4 miles away that way.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? So the hard-headedness, the stubbornness is what's going to blind us from our true purpose. You see, that's why you have to break yourself down. If you keep on saying that, oh, I got it, oh, I'm the one that's going to find it, I'm the one that's going to do it. If you keep on dwelling in your flesh, you are going to lose continuously.
But see, I think, and to take it to kind of what you were saying in terms of like, I don't feel like you even necessarily have to be religious to see anything like that. I feel like things, like I said, I feel like things fall into place. So like, I look at like the trajectory of me getting to like where I'm at now. And I was telling you about this, like as soon as you told me about the episode, I was like, it's so funny that this would pop up like right now, like for me right now in this moment. I think about the fact that like I went to school, I left school, I took a break, I had kids, I went back to school. I told myself I'm gonna be a biology major. That did not happen. I told myself I was like, I'm gonna be an elementary education major. I like kids, I don't like kids. I only like my kids. I said I only like my kids. I can't stand on them kids, F them kids. So I was like, no, I'm being serious. F them kids. I don't like nobody else's kids. I'm being so honest with you. I like my kids. You bring your kid around me, get that little motherfucker away from me. But I told myself, oh, I'm gonna do elementary education. Then I was like, okay, maybe I'll do English education. And I realized I don't want to teach nobody's kids anyway, right? I literally kept switching. And then at one point I settled on English. And everybody was like, okay, well, what are you gonna do with the English degree? I was like, well, I said I go marketing, I could do this. And then I told myself, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do law school. I was like, I can be a good lawyer. I would be a good lawyer. I took the LSAT. I scored ridiculously high on the LSAT on my first try. Like I could have went to any law school that I wanted to, and I took my ass to a Master of Fine Arts program for writing. Anyway, when every single person was like, what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that? And I turn around and I graduate, and within 4 months, I have 5 agents who want to buy my book.
I think that brings up another point, though.
5 agents who are saying, I want to represent you. I need to take this to a publishing house. I feel like I can sell your book.
That brings up another point, though. I want you to just realize what you just said, right?
And I graduated
So-
in May.
That brings up another point, right? Because you say passion, purpose. You also got one more, desire. Desire is not taking no for a fucking answer. I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure everybody in here done play some type of sport where you done stop playing because it's like, oh, coach don't want me to play, or I didn't get the pick that I wanted to get picked up. Okay, cool. You had a passion for it. You didn't have the desire because you could have went somewhere else and found a way to make the shit happen.
Exactly.
Like for example, Shay could have went JUCO. Me could have went JUCO. Briah could have went JUCO. Fuck it, like anybody, Nate could have went JUCO. Could have did any of that shit. Like you feel me? Like, but
want to, though.
exactly the desire was not there to take.
Desire
You
to
took
take,
no
yeah.
for an answer.
Took
So
right
for
out.
example, there was times where Deandra would sit there and be up at night. I ain't got no time because she got 5 kids. What the fuck are you talking about? She writing books with 5 kids. Where you hear that at? You don't, because that's fucking desire at that point.
And every
And
single
that's not-
person that I know has said that. They're like there are people who they don't have half of what you have going on, and they didn't graduate on time,
Exactly.
they didn't finish on time, they doing all this stuff, and I'm like, I did it because
the drive was
because
there.
I said I'm gonna do it.
Because you love
desire was
the
there.
process, and you willing to stick it out for whatever the hell is gonna happen. All right. However the outcome is, your mindset was, I'm gonna get into law school. I'm gonna make this shit happen. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. That's the mindset. You already had. That's the desire. And whatever it took to get to that point, you had already accepted. You brought that on full force. And I think a lot of people miss that point because you might have a passion for something, but it might not be for you. For example, I thought I had a passion for, like, for example, like being in the hospitals and working with old people when I was on my first year on campus.
Really?
What the fuck do I look like? But I was an exercise science major, and that's what I thought I was gonna have to go down.
Old people.
And then from there, I had a passion for, like, building a business and all this other stuff and doing. I don't got no passion for building a business, all right? And it took time for me to realize. One day I was sitting in my dorm room and I was watching. I don't know if y'all watched the 13th Amendment on Netflix, but it's like where pretty much they're talking about how, like, Black lives in America, how they've been affected. They talk about how the kid married himself. And I watched that documentary, and there's so much shit that people in there, they got so much knowledge, so much intelligence, and they have no access to information because there's an entire system against them, right? So I realized real quick, damn, I could be out here trying to change somebody else's life who might not have access to the same information I have. I don't know how I'm finna fucking do it. And that same mindset, I said, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna fucking do it. And for some reason, it just started to happen.
Yeah.
So
you see, and that's like me. Since we're going on the topic of, like, what we thought we were gonna be, I'm sitting here thinking I was gonna be a nurse. I thought I was gonna be a doctor. I thought I was gonna be what else I thought I was gonna be? A lawyer.
Aspiring bio majors and lawyers.
Not even that. I'm sitting here thinking I'm going to college. I thought I was gonna be a good student in that kind of third.
Not everybody is a good student.
You get what I'm saying? Because first of all, I thought I was gonna be a global salesman. That was a whole weird thing. But
Oh yeah.
I feel like you could be a salesman.
That was a weird thing. But the fact about it is, my relationship with God has grown so much over the years that He's been telling me that I'm gonna be a microphone, right? I don't understand what that meant, but ever since that Black Lives Matter movement, I don't know if you guys remember that when it was the one on Sunrise, well, the one that literally went viral. Like, my face was like everywhere on that one. Everybody thought that I started that, but I went there preaching the gospel. You get what I'm saying? Because it was the fact about it is we got off the fact of a Black Lives Matter movement, but I prayed with the police. Everybody wanted to go that way where the police station was, but I led them to the other way, and we started cheering and being happy because God was with us. So the fact about it is, I'm sitting here understanding, I'm like, God, what really, and that day was crazy. I can go on how that day went, but overall, I'm like, God, what is really, like, what do you want me to do here? What do you mean? And when He told me I was going to be a mouthpiece, I was 17 years old. And I was like, what does that even mean?
So this is my question, because I think purpose, when we talk about purpose and what we thought we would be or whatever, I think it's a lifelong discovery.
Yeah.
Because we talk about God, right? And revealing purpose. And I think we can't, like, audibly hear God and say, like, yo, like, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Like, you can't, like, the connection is there, but you can't audibly hear it. So it's like, how do you know?
You got to break down yourself. You have to, you see, once the thing about it, your flesh cannot be in front of your spirit.
Right.
Your spirit got to be in front of the flesh. But your spirit also has to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And has to be broken each and every day. That's why we give glory. That's why we give praise. You get what I'm saying? So, as I was saying, I'm sitting here saying, I'm like, God, what do you really want me to do here? I need you to bring my children home. And it's like, people think, especially in this generation, people think that God is some type of, you know what I'm saying, religious aspect. No, it's the relationship.
That's right.
The purpose was already in you before you even got here. When you really think about that, listen, now what you telling me, Mufasa? My purpose was born, I came here with my purpose, yes, but it's like a seed. God planted a seed, it's up to you to water it with your life. You get what I'm saying? So it's like your value, the Bible speaks on value. You get what I'm saying? I'm getting goosebumps right now. The Bible speaks on value. The value, like, it was a man that was about talking about, he had to trade, it was like, the Bible is probably, the symbolism is crazy. 3 pigeons for 1 penny, in that kind of aspect. But the value of the penny was more than the 3 pigeons, right? So what does that mean? What I'm saying is that you have to understand you as a person first. Yeah. You matter. When you actually discover yourself in God that you matter, that's when you're able to really dig out your name. Because God knew your hair from every hair that's on the tip of your head to the soles of your feet. He knew you before you even got here. He already knew your name. He already knew your purpose. He already knew what your job was going to be. He already knew that you were going to deny Him. He already knew that everything that was going to be happening.
That's right.
He already knew that you were going to be crying. He already knew that you were going to be sad. But you are worried about the wrong thing right now. In order for you to find your purpose, you have to discover yourself before you discover your purpose.
And I definitely think that one of the things when it comes to, like, how do you know, and I'm thinking no, because I think about like, how do you know? It's like I said, I feel like we're always going to have doubt. Like, it's never going to be a time it's never going to be a time where you're in a space and you're not doubting yourself, you're not questioning yourself, and you're not feeling like, okay, is this really meant for me? But I definitely feel like, I don't know, I feel like you move differently. I feel like you have a certain level of confidence, and even sometimes, like, you'll see the signs around you, if that makes sense. You're gonna see the signs around you, like it's like I said, I could have did anything, I could have been anything, and like the amount of times, like, I'm sitting here and I'm telling you know how many people told me, oh, you're not you don't get signed with your first book. You know what I mean? People said, "Oh, you don't get signed with your first book."
Yeah, I'm gonna be one.
And they're like, "Oh my goodness, you know, oh, you know how many people I've spoken to? They said, "Oh my goodness, this is my 8th, 9th, 10th book, and I still haven't found an agent. I've been querying my book for 2 years. I still haven't found a person. I've been trying to do this for this song. I still haven't found a person." And I'm sitting here, I'm like, I've been doing this for 4 months, and I have 5 people who are bothering me, and I'm stressed out. Like, and it's one of those things. It's just, I think you just move a little bit differently. I feel like in my head, I feel like things fall into place differently. I feel like it starts to happen for you.
That's the power of thought, though. I feel like because when you start to think, so your thoughts, like, people don't think about this, but that's why it's super important to see like what your influences are. Because in my opinion, this is just basically my opinion, there is no actual physical purpose on this planet. You can sit there and argue with your mom about it, all right? But if you try to argue with me about it, it's going to be like, okay. Because the reality is you can decide to do whatever you want to do. If you don't want to be here today, you can take yourself out tomorrow. That's just the facts. I think we try to attach purpose because we want to find meaning in this life, all right? And the power of thought really does influence that. How you think is going to start to influence your actions. If you're sitting here thinking that you're going to fail, buckle up, bitch, because you about to fail. It's might as well hop on train, you feel me? If you feel like you want to sit there and you want to be the next top kingpin, you're going to start putting yourself in a position to be the top kingpin.
But that's a psychological truth, though. Even if you look at psychology, they literally call it you predetermine it for yourself. And so if you go into, so for example, you have a test tomorrow. You studied for the test. You know the information, but in your head, you told yourself, I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail this test. So what happens? You get nervous. You work yourself up. You freak out. And then when you get into the test, exactly, you get into the test, and every single, no, but listen, I'm telling you, this really, really happens. And so what happens is you tell yourself, oh, I'm going to fail, and then you get in front of the test, and even though you studied last night, now all of a sudden you put the answer, and you're like, I don't think that's the answer. I think that's the wrong thing. You erase it, you put something else. You erase it, you put something else. You erase it, you put something else. And then when you get the test back, everything that you put the first time was the right answer, and you failed it because you put it in your head.
Exactly.
You put it in your head you was going to do it.
And you see, when you walk into something, you have to walk in with pre and pro victory.
Yeah.
You got to walk into something that you, like I said, you got to walk in it with pre and pro victory, meaning that you walk in it saying you won, you walk out of it saying you won.
Exactly.
See, what you said, like the story that you described with your friends with the book, oh, I've been doing this for so much and this and that, I'm looking for, nobody wants to sign me. They're missing a piece. And I can think, you know exactly what I'm about to say. They're missing the desire in it.
Yeah.
Because they're looking for the wrong thing. Where was the passion when you were writing it the first time?
Exactly.
Now you're looking for somebody to accept. Now you're looking to another man to accept you. You're not doing it for the purpose. You're not doing it for what you started for.
Hey, Mufasa, you get this shit all the time because you got a big following, right?
Exactly.
How many times you get somebody to be like, oh, bro, how do I blow up on TikTok?
Yes.
That's the lamest shit I ever fucking hear.
Because it's like, and my response is,
if you're doing it just to blow up, you're not gonna get it.
You're not gonna get it.
Bro, I want the brand deals. I want to. That's not gonna work.
And that's the thing.
You have to do it for fun. You have to have fun with this stuff.
And I think that's the truth because so many people they'll be like, oh my goodness, if for your first book it must be about something amazing. What other books did you read to compare it to? What did you do? And I said I didn't read anything. I said I wrote a book. I said about a black autistic teen. I said I wrote a book about a black teen getting shot because I have black autistic children. I have black boys who I'm afraid of getting shot. These are my fears put to paper.
So I have a
I said
question.
this is my heart put to paper. I said I didn't read nothing to put this together. This is something I cared about. And the people who I've interviewed, the agents, they're talking about my book and they're crying. They're on camera and they're crying and they're saying this spoke to me. I felt this. This felt real to me. And for me to know that, I'm like, I didn't have to fake that. I was just like, I didn't do this because I wanted a big book deal. I didn't do this because I wanted someone to come and say, oh wow, I want to give you all this money for your book. I did this because it was something I cared about.
And what I call that, John, that's called preparation. That's when preparation meets opportunity. All right. Look, you prepare for some shit, all right, and you've been waiting for it. That's you. Each day you putting in the work because you're prepared, all right. And it finally meets opportunity. She didn't say I got to get this shit done in 3 months. Oh, I got to get this shit done. I have it by 3 years. No, she said I'm gonna get it done now, and whenever it gets done is whenever it gets done, all right. You're not looking for the end goal, all right? You're focused on the now, and whatever happens after that is whatever happens after that.
Because you're not promised. You're not promised the next couple.
It's
hours.
like I'll also push another example. For example, with Shay's brand, right? All right, Shay done had different pieces that he done dropped, different styles. All right, there's been times where he done asked me like, bro, how, for example, hey, what kind of, how do I post the content, or should I even use it and stuff like that? And he, even if I don't fucking respond, he still will get up and go do the shit because the desire is there.
Exactly.
All right, it got to the point where now I see other brands that don't even got 1,000 followers on IG, and he
Facts.
pushing
he pushing more.
He pushing more.
Yeah.
It's like I see other brands. I see
My boy doing it. Yeah,
shit,
man.
Doing the damn
and
thing.
then some brands
Putting in that work.
He being real. Some brands actually go out and they go to the extent where they just buy followers and they get fake ass comments and this shit. He got actual supporters that are even from his home. The hardest people to get is your hometown.
Exactly.
He got people from his hometown putting
Wait,
shit
say it
on.
again. He got like actual what?
Actual supporters.
Actual supporters.
People from his hometown.
No shit.
The hardest people to get is people from your hometown. Like people didn't start supporting me until I had already like branched out, and people were like, "Oh shit, I remember this dude." Like I swear to God, I had a girl DM me who was in my fucking senior class, and she's like, literally, I swear to God, she's like, "Oh, who are you?" I said, "Shay, I went to school with you." All right, and she ain't gonna watch this, I don't care. But I said, "I went to school with you." He's talking about who
He
am
name
I?
dropping.
You feel me? Like I'm just so shocked at the fact that people don't even realize like how that shit actually works.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, so it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
People do that and be like, see, y'all better than me because I'm the type of person. I'm gonna tell everybody right now, my shit sell for 6 figures, and I'm
But you know
pulling up.
what?
I'm pulling up on Big Tour.
question.
Bitch, don't pull up now and say you
Nah,
knew
nah,
me
I
because
got
I don't know you, motherfucker. I don't know you.
But you invest in stocks.
I don't know you, motherfucker.
Deandra, you invest in stocks, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me put it like this, right? You see a stock that's down bad, you finna invest in that shit? If you see
Yes.
a real down, you see it real down bad, like that shit look garbage.
Yes, no, that's the best time to invest in it. What do you
Oh.
mean? I'm buying that shit when it's low because that bitch
I
gonna be
have
up
a
at some
question
point.
for her.
But you gonna invest in every last low stock? You gonna do,
This is Go ahead, go finish.
I was gonna say you gonna invest in every last low stock? Like every last low stock ain't finna shoot back
Yeah,
up.
no, they not
No.
finna
It be
always-
something
I
that-
don't even know about
That's
stock,
true.
But it's like
This
that's
is-
pretty much what people are.
This was my question. So you writing your book about what it was about, right? Do you feel like with your children, do you feel like that was what prepared you to do that? Do you think God gave you that to prepare you to write that?
And you see, sometimes I do have to wonder that, because and I think about that because I probably wouldn't have had that without them, right? And like almost every single thing that
Everything
I
had
do
to happen.
write, every single
Yeah.
thing that I write, because like the next book that I'm writing, it's kind of like a school story, but it very, very much focuses on like a lot of the racist experiences that I dealt with when I was in an art school. And I think about like all of the things that like I've been through, and you think about it, and there's a story and everything. And like I look at some people and their stories, like I've had people ask me to read their things, and I'm like, I'll read it, I'll be like, yo, this is a whole bunch of pretty words on paper, but what the fuck is this about? Like there is nothing
there's no
here.
you- there's no
there's
person
nothing.
in it.
You
There's
just
no you in
strung
it.
a bunch of words
Yeah,
together,
pretty words.
and
It really
you
be
threw
like
it
that.
here, and I'm like what am I supposed to do with this? And I don't know. You know, I think that's a great question. I do 100% feel like I wouldn't have the heart to have told the story as it was or had it become what it was, because there's so many elements in it. I feel like I probably couldn't have wrote that story without James, because football is a huge part of the story. He helped me with a whole lot of that, right? All of the knowledge, everything that I got from him. There are so many different elements of my life that came into it that I do feel like I needed all of those parts for it to happen the way that it happened.
And bro, you know what's... Go ahead, I'm sorry, no. Go ahead.
So I just want to say, sorry, I haven't been talking. But
I was just thinking that, right?
I was like, wait, we gotta let Mimi talk. Hold on now.
I was like, I'm not trying to be rude. But actually, now that you're talking about that, when Shay told me the question for this podcast, like it really impacted me, because actually this month is Suicide Prevention Month. So this is a question that so many people think about, and that every day they're struggling with finding a reason to be born, or why, or like purpose. And that's something that I personally struggled with. So this question has haunted me my whole entire life. So for me, I feel like everything that happened to me, like you were saying, God does put everything perfectly in order so that you can impact other
Just like
people's
this right
life. Exactly.
Just like
Exactly. Like every friendship that I have, exactly, like
The
this.
pieces.
It's purpose. It's purpose. It's the purpose that God has for your life, and that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So I feel like God does everything beautiful, and I've understood that everything that I went through concerning being suicidal, concerning self-harm, all that type of stuff, God God, in some way, he was helping me try to get out of that, but I was trying to like stay in there because like you
Stubborn-headed.
Yeah, you
Crazy
stubborn-headed and you don't see your worth. You be looking around and you be like, dang, like, why am I here? Like, you lost. You lost in your purpose. But once you start realizing that everything is happening and you get out of, like what Kobe was saying, like, you have that desire to, like, get out and you're like, you know what? You put that desire in and you're like, you know what? I'm going to get up and I'm going to do this. And I feel like God's purpose and God's will is something so vague because like Briah was saying, you don't hear God like, oh, I need you to go left, I need you to go right. And sometimes that pisses me off. I'm like, God, I don't know, like come in human form once again and tell me what to do.
Yes, Lord.
Okay? But then I'm like,
Come
you know
on
what?
now.
What if I am walking in my purpose? What if
Come on
I
now,
am
Mimi.
walking in God's will? What if I'm just second guessing what God is already laid out in front of me? But I'm over here like, but no, God, sometimes our dreams aren't just our dreams. They're the dreams that God has put in our heart.
I think
And that's
it's interesting.
that's sometimes something that we have to understand where we're like, you know what? I'm going to put this dream into action. I
Put
have
it in
this
his
dream.
hands.
Exactly.
Put it right back in his
Exactly.
hands.
Put it right back in his hands. Tell him, you know what? If you gave me this, then glorify yourself through that. You feel me?
Yeah.
It's like you have your platform. You have your platform. You have your platform. You have your like.
And how
it's
does
crazy.
how does the
you
saying
put it
go?
in God's hands.
How does the saying go?
What's
Walk
that?
by faith, not by.
I'll be real with like what you just said. Like a lot of people, the reason why they fail to find a purpose because everybody think their purpose is to be the main character.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
Everybody,
Some of y'all ain't got main character energy. Some of y'all are some side characters.
I've come to-
sit
down.
Some of y'all are side
Yeah.
characters. Calm down.
G shit. I look at myself as a side character because when I look at what I currently
Y'all
do,
ain't all
Right.
protagonists.
like I look at myself as a side character specifically because, like for example, I don't have many people that reach out to me that's like, let me help you do this, or everybody not reaching out saying, let me help you do that. I'm pretty sure y'all done met that motherfucker that just get everything in life just handed to him, and it's just like, what?
Facts.
What in the hell is
Facts.
going? Like you don't have everything just handed directly to you.
You can go.
And I look at myself as like, okay, I spend my entire day or even just my days, people reaching out to me asking me, oh, how do I do this? So I got to sit there and reach out to them. I'm always helping somebody else. Almost like everybody's the, I don't want to put it like this, but everybody's the leech. I'm the person being sucked on at that point. And
Crazy.
like at that point, I'm not the main character. So like I'm just the catalyst to help somebody else's day.
Just somebody else's supporting
Exactly,
character.
and that's perfectly fine. And if you find a purpose in that, like I tell people, and I'm glad she brought up the suicide prevention stuff because the people who do reach out to do stuff like that, I will say this. I say it all the time when I'm talking to people. If you can't find something to live for, find someone else to live for. If it listens a kid, family, friends, because
right.
guess what? When you're gone, don't be sitting there thinking that you were selfless about it. About
Yes,
oh,
that's
I feel like I didn't
selfish.
belong here. No. You got to realize, all right, that's probably one of the most selfish decisions that somebody can make because you have people that are now going to show up to that funeral, regardless if it was suicide by, you tried to do it or even if for something like health. I got a lot of people that, for example, my own mother, diabetes, high blood pressure, all that other stuff. When you kick the bucket, what are you going to tell us?
That's right.
You could have focused on your health instead of thinking that you're helping everybody else all the time. Oh, I got to take this kid this way. Oh, Briah need this.
Take
that
care of
ain't-
you
That
first.
ain't helping nobody because that's selfish as hell. You think the more good you do, the more you're going to be blessed in the end. That's not something that you should be looking for. What you really should be doing is taking care of yourself because everybody going to show up to your funeral.
That's
all right?
right.
So when it comes down to it, find someone else to live for if you can't find something to live for. Everybody ain't got the biggest purpose in the world to sit there and be writing books or fucking doing comedy or fucking playing ball. Like, bro, it's real.
seriously,
Some
no,
people have no
seriously,
skills.
Go ahead, Dom.
Not no skills.
Everybody got their own decision, bro.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, ain't no right or wrong, bro. Everybody got their own decision.
Going back
But I
to
was-
Kobe.
I was finna go back to what Deandra was saying about like her writing a book and her going through her like her life situations and leading up to writing a book. Feel me? Like I feel like that's beautiful because like it's somebody in this world. How much people in this world? 7 billion.
Child, we don't.
I
highly
At
doubt
this
it.
moment, it's going
Highly
up.
no,
Not
that
right
number
now.
is too low. I feel like that number is way too
No,
low.
it's like 9 right now, I think.
I think it's way higher now.
There's
Dude,
no way you
dude,
can count,
listen.
bro. What young people are in this? There's people in the forest. Like, come on, bro.
There's people
Like,
under
what?
ground.
Nah,
Listen,
they
bro,
tracking
it's
everybody.
so many
Oh,
people.
that's
It's
it.
so many people going through her story, bro.
Yeah.
It's just like.
Especially in
You
the
know what
black
I'm saying?
community.
Like, it
Especially
could
in
be
the
a
black
chance that
community, bro.
somebody reach to that point where they reach her book. You feel
Yeah.
me?
That's
Or
right.
So you got
whoever
somebody-
going through that story, bro. That's gonna help them out.
Because
And-
it's
and-
because
I was
it's
like,
playing
beautiful.
his
Exactly,
perfect
and that's the thing though, and it's so funny because one of the questions
I feel like that's a purpose. That's a sense of purpose.
one of the questions that one of my agents she asked me, she was like, what are you looking for an agent? But then she asked me, she said, what are your goals like as an author? She's like, what are your goals for your book? And I told her honestly, I said, I said, I feel like I'm supposed to tell you that I want you to sell it for as much money as possible. I said, but the truth is, I said, I just want somebody to get something from this. I said, I just want this. I said, I want this to reach the right people. I want people to. I said, I want someone else, some other mother. I was like, and I told her, I said, and there's not a lot of autistic people on the page. You don't see a lot of books with autistic characters. I said, I want someone who has autism too. I had 3 different people who have autism read it, and they literally told me, they said, I've never seen myself reflected on the page.
That's
and
beautiful.
I thank you for this. And for me, I was like, I want other kids who have autism to feel like that. I want them to read it and say, wow, that's me. Somebody wrote about me. Exactly. I want somebody else to feel seen.
You see, now
I want somebody else to feel seen.
you left a stamp. You left a stamp on somebody's heart, because now they can discover themselves, and now they can use that to branch out and help somebody else now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
like a
It's an
cycle.
ongoing
It's a cycle.
cycle.
Domino
Y'all-
effect.
y'all know like a
Domino.
boss tree?
Maybe we're all supporting
Hold on,
characters.
hold on. Back to what
Maybe
you just
none of
said,
us
right?
are main
But listen,
characters.
I think we
Main
all
character
end up
together.
being supporting characters
Exactly.
anyways, because
Yes.
like even me, right? I'll use myself for example.
See yourself as a servant.
Playing basketball for as long as I have, or we all were athletes, right? We're used to being
I'm lazy.
the main.
Wait, what? She said I'm lazy.
Not us.
He said, I seen her shoot basketball one time.
Why you shut up, man? Donshay talking about me.
That's another conversation.
I think we're used. Most times we're used to being the main character, like Kobe said, right? But again, myself played basketball for many years. Now I've found myself in a position coaching now.
Helping other people.
No longer the main character.
You're him.
I appreciate it. I'm no longer the main character though.
Yeah.
That's right.
Even with I'm not the main character. It's me. I might be the face.
Yeah.
I'm not the main character.
You're creating
You
main
create.
characters.
I was just thinking that, Lord.
Creating main
you're-
characters.
And that's even
But
more
then
powerful.
those main characters will pick it up, and then
And
they'll
then
no longer be the main character.
Yes.
We all have our time in the
That's
spotlight.
true.
Bro. You know what?
Everyone has
I
a
got
season.
Guess
I got
what?
a real deep question for y'all. Like,
gotta figure out whether or not this
kinda
your
off
art.
Topic, but like, do y'all believe, like, say when we go, right? Our spirit, y'all think our spirit enters another, like, form of human body?
No, I believe in reincarnation. Listen, no, listen, and I have a scientific reason for why I believe in reincarnation. The first rule of science.
Energy never dies.
Who remembers?
This cannot be
Energy
created or
cannot be
destroyed.
created or destroyed. It is only transferred. What is your body except if you look at a brain on a scan, literally, if you scan your brain, it's literally just energy shooting.
Also, here's a little fact
it's
that y'all
just
should know,
energy shooting.
if y'all didn't know about
Okay.
it, but when you actually die, your brain continues to have activity for the next 7 minutes. Now, when you are in a dream, guess what? You cannot tell time, and time doesn't have any form. So, for example, you can live a whole nother life at that point. You can be- you-
And it can happen in the space
it
of
can
a second.
Exactly. So you never actually know. That's why there's so many different stuff. So much different stuff that's going
That
on.
7 minute could be
that's
it could be
what I'm saying.
lifetimes.
That 7 minutes
I'm
could be
telling you right now,
7 years.
I don't give a shit. There's so much
It's
energy.
never
There's so much energy. Our consciousness, it's nothing but energy. If you really sit here telling me that your consciousness just dissipates into the air, child, please, energy cannot be destroyed. It gets
You
transferred
literally
somewhere.
get, what is it? They say you literally get,
No,
like,
no,
when you die, you actually get 4 or 5 pounds lighter because they say your soul literally leaves your body. That's literally what it is. So, I mean,
Going on to the next
nah,
one.
they say when you actually die, like once you actually like hit the bucket, immediately after you lose about 4 or 5 pounds immediately, like your body. If that is not proof of some type of higher power, whoever you want to believe in, I mean, I don't know what the fuck else is. So
Have you guys ever had like a really, really strong moment of like this happened, or I feel like this has happened, or I feel like this has happened already? And I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. You know the times when it's happened to me, it's the times when I feel like it has something to do with purpose. I'm being honest. It feels like that's when it happened to me. Literally the other day when I was going over like these emails with these agents, and I'm like, this is all new to me. But I had this really weird moment where I was like, bitch, I did this already. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, wait, like, no, I swear, I'm sitting here, I'm looking at it, I'm like, no, I know exactly what this is about to say next. And
Yeah,
I'm like, I know
scientific reason
exactly
for
what's
that, too.
about to happen. And I'm like, no, this already happened. Like, this thing happened already.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Like, but well, I was gonna share a testimony actually, if that's okay.
Ooh, we love testing.
And speaking on but to answer your question, I believe in spirit goes. You either go to heaven or hell. Simple as that. Well, you go to paradise first, and then judgment day comes to the second and third. But that's my belief, right? So My testimony is, in 2020 had to be the most craziest year of my life, right? I was working 3 jobs, 24-hour shifts, and I was taking care of my mom with stage 3 cancer, where we don't know where it came from, right? House got foreclosed on. I had to rush to get this apartment. I had she was, I was in the trenches, you feel me? But in the midst of all this, I'm asking, why am I going through this? But then God said, why not you?
Oof, there you go.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like, when the Creator told me that, why not you? Why can't I use you?
Or who are you?
Yeah, exactly.
If you
carry
can't
our
trust
cross,
me?
why
You
can't
see,
we?
if you not comfortable now, what makes you think you're gonna be comfortable later?
That's right.
If you're not in me, it's simple as that. You get what I'm saying? Like, I was so lost and so full of. I don't know if anybody experienced no sleep, like what no sleep feels like. When I tell you I was working 24-hour shifts, I was working from 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. I got 20 minutes of sleep one time, and I had to go straight back to work. Never forget that in my life. But that's a pain where I fell asleep at the wheel multiple times. But like, I had to realize that I had to rekindle. You get what I'm saying? And in the midst of all that pain, that I had to realize I was building a story. God is building my story, building my testimony.
To impact someone else.
To say that it's going to be okay. You get what I'm saying? Because sometimes your testimony is not just for you.
That's right.
I don't
So
think
what-
anything
what's
that we
going
do
on?
is for us.
Huh?
I said I don't think that anything that
No.
we do in this lifetime is for us.
No, it's not.
ourselves,
It's not
right?
for. You see, that's when you see. That's how you said you're selfish. You're selfish at that point because now you have to. Your purpose is for somebody else. What you can do is can help somebody else. You get what I'm saying? And being in that, and especially being in this kind of atmosphere with this kind of question on this night is crazy because Friday is gonna be. It's my first time preaching, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and give God glory for that one. You know what I'm saying? It's my, it's literally my first time preaching, and I don't know if y'all heard about this David Cruz guy.
Yeah,
David
the
Cruz on
guy
TikTok.
he's walking across the
I
country.
swear to God.
Yeah.
He's in Florida now.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I saw him last
promise
night.
you, I saw him
Yeah.
a week or 2 ago.
Me and my
Yeah,
girl saw him last
he's
night.
been walking.
He's
from,
walking
He
from-
walks from like New York or something.
I think it
to
was
Florida,
Pennsylvania.
to Pennsylvania.
And then he's in Florida now. He
walking
walked.
Pure obedience.
He's walking and
He
preaching.
did it a couple times already.
Yeah, he
No, but
attempted.
like-
He attempted. He told me last night he attempted 3 times, but he stopped because he got fearful. God ripped all that out of him so he can do this faith walk.
Because it's walking on pure obedience.
That's right.
And at the end of this, he said he's going to find his what? Purpose. So when you drop yourself and drop who you are for pure obedience, because obedience is better than service sometimes.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Being
Not
humble.
sometimes, all the time. And remain humble.
Gotta be humble.
Remain humble in it.
That's right.
So if you really want to find out what you want to do and what your purpose is in this world,
Humble yourself.
drop yourself.
That's right.
Drop everything that you got.
That's right.
God is saying, why can't you?
Why can't you?
Exactly. Why can't you? And I think it's so interesting because even like earlier you were talking about dealing with like ideas of suicide and things like that. And like I think like my entire life was hard. my entire childhood was horrible. And I think about the fact that like I told myself at 13 I was not gonna live no more, and I tried and it did not work. But I think to myself now, and I actually said it to my husband the other day. I looked at him and I said, I genuinely feel like I feel like I'm a poster child of like, bitch, it's a good thing you ain't do that. Cause look, life is lit.
Yes.
Life is lit as hell. It's a good thing
I
that
look
you
at it
ain't
like
do
this,
that.
though,
Cause
too.
look at how
Like, I'll be real. Hold on.
cause I look at life and I'm like, yo, my life now is way more than I could have
I think
imagined.
a lot of times too, though, you gotta remember, like, so I'll put it like this too, because that kind of disrespects everybody who did take their life for suicide purposes. And I actually went to therapy because I didn't even realize I needed this shit. But I'm somebody who actually watched my dad pretty much die directly in front of my eyes from falling out, and he ain't never touched his feet again. All right, was a vegetable after that. I watched my best friend be ran over by a car. So it's like, for example, shit like that, I decided to minimize in my head and think, oh, this is what everybody go through. Shit, it is what it is. Everybody lose their fathers at old age, or everybody
realize that
and people
trauma.
die all the time. You don't realize that trauma. So when you think about this stuff, for example, oh, why not you? You ask that, okay, well, really, why me? Why me? Because if I can't handle a problem, and however you want to put it, all right, then why isn't me? If I'm just not as mentally strong as Deandra, if I'm just not as strong as Mufasa, why me?
But you can though.
But you don't know that.
But that's what I'm saying. You know that.
But I don't know that.
But it's already built in you. That's
But
what I'm saying.
I'm not talking about me specifically.
No,
I'm
no,
talking
I
about
know,
the people
I
who
know.
done killed themselves. 'Cause for example, I don't know if y'all noticed, but at Terravella, y'all got about 2 or 3 people that done committed suicide
Charles.
since y'all graduated, y'all boys, right? Yeah. Why them? Yeah.
Committed suicide.
Why them? Gavin, he played on the football team.
Yeah. But that's
Another
what I'm
boy
saying.
was murdered or something. He also
It's the
killed himself.
type- But you see, you gotta understand what are you surrounding yourself with? You know what
But
I'm
at
saying?
that point, you're blaming them for them not being able to handle a task that was put onto them.
No, I'm not even saying that. What kind of life are you living? Are you living a life? Are you smoking? Are you drinking every day?
But none of
Are
that stuff
you,
is actually bad.
huh?
None of that stuff is actually bad.
Honestly, I'm being
It's bad in your eyes. But the reality is, there is no such thing as good or bad. There's peace and violence. Something that's bad over here in America could be completely fine over there in Africa. Something that's completely fine over there in
We're talking about
Africa,
here.
we look up. But that's the thing. God is universal.
No, I'm not even saying.
So you say good and bad.
It's a matter of like you're when you drink, right? You get drunk. Is anybody in the right mind? Is anybody in the right mind of doing something? Listen, is
I'm not a drinker or a
but
smoker.
now, listen, I've heard you. I'm pretty sure everybody heard. I drink to take the pain away.
I mean, at the same time, though, we talking shit, but Jesus turned water into wine. I'm just.
But the reality, well, my point is
throwing it in
that
there.
My point is that you say what kind of
just
life.
throwing it in there.
Everybody throw that though.
No, just shit. So like my point
Jesus
is like
turned water
you-
into wine.
You say
But
what
it
kind of
wasn't
life
to
were those
get
people
drunk.
Jesus
living?
made weed.
It wasn't to get drunk.
You say what kind of life were those people living? First off, that shit wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the creator. All right, it just wouldn't be here.
No.
and nobody would have
No,
thought about
no,
making
no.
this
And
stuff.
we,
No, we're human,
Yeah.
bro. That's on
Yeah.
us.
But my
That's
point
an us fault.
That's
my
a us
point
fault.
is
God
like
does not. God, hold
He
on.
gives
God
the
does not.
resources, and we do stuff. with
That's
that.
what I'm saying because we have a big C word,
Exactly.
choice.
That's right.
We
Free
have a
will.
choice to do it, the free will. Now, see, let me tell you something. If it was on God, if we were talking back in the old time, we would have
Ooh,
been wiped out.
that's right.
We wouldn't even be here. I'll tell you that right now. But it's the fact about it is God gave us free will and choice. He sent his own son to die on this earth. We all know that story, right? But that big word choice, because people misinterpret that a lot, bro. It's the free will of what we wanted to do because we
So-
took it as a whole.
So
That's where sin
everything
came
a
in.
test.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yes, you see what I'm saying? Because
Every
it's,
little thing a test.
see, now, Donshay, if I tell you not to eat this, if I tell you don't eat that, I give you the choice. You can eat this side, but you can eat this side. But it's your choice to eat this side or not. That's your choice if you want to listen to me or not. But there's repercussion. There's poison
It's
in
a
those
right-
cookies.
Now, let me ask you
There's
this.
consequences.
Hold on,
There's a right and a
There's
wrong.
consequences.
Okay,
That's-
just what you just said right there. Boom. That's where you just lost me.
No.
So you say right and wrong. Like I just said. Okay, you say Shay don't eat that. There's poison in that cookie, right? Shay, there's no poison in that cookie. I'm over here in a different country. He's somewhere else. I ain't no poison in that cookie. Where you can
Well,
eat.
the difference is,
At the same
At
time,
that point, it's-
okay. So let me just. I think that.
Like,
Wait, hold
what I'm
on,
saying.
hold
Yeah.
on. Here's the
Sure.
thing. I think the problem here is that there is a discussion of whether or not there is a universal right and wrong, and there isn't.
there isn't.
Right? What is right in some situations is not right in other situations. What is right for one person is not right for another person. It is right for me to walk around the way
Yeah.
that I am dressed with my head uncovered. It is not right for a
course.
woman.
Exactly, but
it is
check
not a
this.
right for a
Religious
woman in
purposes.
Saudi,
I
Saudi
can
Arabia.
promise you
No,
this.
but I'm just saying, right? There is no such thing as like a universal right and wrong. Right? There really isn't.
But
There's
there
just-
is a universal peace in violence. Because you know what peace is? Peace is where you are supporting somebody else's wants, wishes, or desires. Violence is where you are silencing them. So, for example, she could be over here in this country, want to wear her hair out, and I tell her, hey, that shit don't fly over here. That is an act of violence on my end. But it's not wrong for me to say that if it's something that we do over here in this country.
absolutely not.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like the negative aspect, bro. I'm talking like if somebody would literally tell me I have to drink every morning in order for me to be in my right mind. That's what I'm talking about. I have to smoke. I have to smoke to go to sleep. I have to smoke to eat. That was the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
But you just said that, right?
I am
There are
hungry.
people who
If
have to
I'm hungry,
smoke.
I'm hungry.
Have you ever met somebody who's actually had to smoke in order to get over, like, for example, anxiety or something like that? I have a close friend who's actually like that. She cannot go to sleep unless she smokes because she's been through so much trauma in the past.
So is the point to suppress it or get rid of it?
How do you get rid of it?
I promise you there's only one way.
Don't do it.
Go through it, bro. Go through it, you hear me?
That's fight or flight, though.
It's a what?
That's fight or flight.
Fight or flight?
Because now,
But you have a choice to do it. If you want to stay in it, listen.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this right
You
now.
choosing your
if
heart,
you
man.
want to do it, by all means, but
Choosing
please.
your heart.
I tell you this right now. It's like me throwing the ball. It's up to you to catch it. Simple as that. If I give you a spoken word for
well, what
it,
if I physically cannot catch a ball?
What do you mean if you physically can't catch a ball?
Answer the question. What if I physically cannot catch a
What
ball?
do you mean if you physically
You
can't
throw
catch
me a ball and I physically can't catch it.
If you ain't got no arms.
I just can't. I cannot.
What if
I cannot lift my
what
arms
if
to
he
do
ain't got
that.
legs?
That's the reality. So that's what you have to actually. That's where you
That's
become
what
more
I'm
open-minded
saying.
and you start to
Everybody is
think.
somewhere else.
Exactly. That's where you become more open-minded and think, okay, what is that other person's situation? Because I'm not gonna sit there and look at my problems. I used to do that a whole fucking lot actually. I used to think, bro, why are they fucking worried about this, that, and the third? Bro, I ain't even got a dad. They over here arguing with theirs.
Listen,
I will never. Yeah,
But
I
it's
see where
stuff
you're
I
like
coming
feel
from.
like I feel like here's the
No,
thing, and this
right.
is this is something that I repeat to myself so often. This is something that I've repeated myself throughout this entire process. Something I tell myself every single day. Comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison is the thief of joy. If you want to be joyless, if you want to be upset, if you want to be anxious, compare yourself to another person.
Oh, yes. Okay.
That is that is going
I
to
do
be
that a
your
lot.
first step to now
Definitely do that a
to now being in a state of just constant misery,
Yeah.
right? You cannot
more
look at
followers
another's
than me.
you exactly right, or this
got
person
more
got here
followers
faster than me, right? Like this person got here faster than me. I feel like this person's better than me. I feel like this person's doing this. I feel like the second you start looking at like this person's
You already
situation
lost. I
is
literally just
worse
said
or
that.
better or
Yeah, I was about to
anything,
say,
I just said that shit the other day.
Yeah, I heard wrong.
comparison
I made a
is the
full
thief of
video.
joy.
I made
Yeah.
a full video on that shit the other
No,
day.
did you make a TikTok?
I made a video on that shit the other day.
Yeah.
I need to be humble. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
No, but even
Yeah,
that,
that's
even
the thing, you gotta stay focused. That's what I thought you
exactly.
were about
But I mean, like, even if you look at somebody's situation and you're like, my situation's worse. Why are you even upset?
Absolutely not.
Listen,
But that's
listen.
not how you bring it to people, though.
It's one of those things where it's like maybe for you think it's worse, but you don't know what their worse is.
Exactly.
You don't know
That's
know
why
where anybody's at.
It's super important not to minimize what you're going through, and that's why the people who do decide to off themselves from the, whatever they may be going through, they're not wrong for doing so. Matter of fact, they're probably the strongest out of anybody else, because you know how
That's
much.
right.
Could you imagine dying by somebody else's hand? You'll be hot. You doing it yourself. You doing it yourself. Could you imagine somebody holding a gun to you, ready to shoot you? You would be the maddest person on the planet. All right.
would.
We had a close friend that just died recently, Phil, who got gunned down. Right. You think that he wanted to be gunned down to them? I'm pretty sure he was fighting for his life, because he was still alive until he got to the hospital, fighting for his life for hours on end, waiting for the ambulance to show up. And it's like, you think he wanted to be in that situation? So you got people that come out here and actually go and take that extra step and do it themselves. I'm not saying that we should applaud them, but be respectful of what they were going through at that point.
No,
because you never-
absolutely. Because I think to myself, it's like I said, and
Yeah.
no, one
Be respectful
listen,
of what they're going through.
the one thing I
What
will
they're
say
going
is
through,
this.
yes.
And
But
the
what
fact
you
that
mean-
they took that step. The fact
But
is that
taking your life, though? Taking your I can't. I honestly, I just.
I mean, I think what
can't,
he's
I
saying.
can't,
I think what
can't.
he's saying is like respect their feelings in the moment.
Yeah.
I
think
understand that, but like, of course, like
I think
But
it's
that
one of those
action,
things.
I can't. The reason, if you telling me, oh, I can't do it no more, you got a gun, you on the phone with me, blah, 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 and I'm telling you, man.
No,
look,
see, wait, hold
I
on.
don't know what to tell you.
Hold
bro.
on, wait. I'm gonna give you some context.
you was not gonna say
So
that.
listen, nope.
You was
But
not
here's
gonna say
the thing. You have that idea, but I'm telling you right now, you could not have told 13-year-old me who swallowed an entire bottle of Advil and Benadryl, who had already been
And you 13,
sexually
bro.
who had already been sexually assaulted, physically abused, and who could not deal with it anymore at 13. You could not have told me shit. The only reason I'm alive is because it did not work. And I'm telling you that right now. It is
And
not
where do you
because
think that came from?
no,
It's because of God.
but mind you, regardless, the only reason I'm alive is because it did not work, not because I did not want to do it.
That's
Mind you, am I happy that I'm alive? Sure. However, I do not feel that I did that out of weakness. I do not feel that I did that out of selfishness. Truly, I did not feel selfish. I was tired.
That's
Yeah,
right.
but that's what
At
I'm saying.
13,
And
I
it
was
can't-
tired.
And you see,
There was nothing you could have told me. And so, no, I'm never going to disrespect anybody who does that, because you have no idea what mindset they bring. You have to understand how tired you have to be
That's right.
to just say, I can't do this shit no more.
yeah.
You got to understand how tired you have to be.
And
you're saying that because you're
Unless-
familiar with it.
Unless
commend
you've
you for
been
that.
there,
Let me
unless
tell you
you've been
exactly,
there,
exactly.
I have.
You're
You don't
saying
know.
that because you're familiar with it. You
course
have
I
to
have.
be really open-minded to understand that you are not in that scenario. You might have found God. The reality is that somebody else believes that God ain't real, and if they feel that way, then it's understandable for them to feel that way. Especially, okay, so let me put it like this: you just said your situation. You had to work 3 jobs because you had a mother with stage 3 cancer, right? You were able to find a different direction. All right. What about the people who didn't find that direction?
I ain't gonna lie, nah, bro. It was the amount of times that I denied it a lot. I was in a denial. I was in a huge denial, and I was in so much. I literally said, you know what, God, you ain't doing nothing for me.
That's right.
You ain't doing nothing for me. I'm gonna do this on my own. And when I couldn't do it on my own, I was tired. I literally felt I remember one day I was in my bed. I was just in the dark, and I'm sitting there talking to myself. I felt. Anybody ever felt that weight on your body? Like if you felt like there's something on top of you. You get what I'm saying? Huh?
No, I met a woman. I met a
like
woman with stage 4 cancer one time. I'm gonna tell you right
Yeah.
now. This is literally my first
It's a lot,
week working
bro.
on a job as a personal trainer, and I had to shadow the dude who was supposed to be working with her. And she sits down and he goes, oh, tell me about yourself. What's going on? And she goes, well, I have stage 4 cancer. He goes, whoa. He like shot back for a second. She goes, I know, but to be honest with you, I was an athlete all my life, and I feel like I tried to focus on my health all my life, and I haven't even been able to walk for the past 6 months, and I honestly just want to just get moving again. That's all I care about. I know I'm not going to be. She literally was saying all of this right then and there. I'm just sitting here ready to cry because I'm like, damn, this is my 3rd day here, this motherfucker. Like, this is crazy.
This is
and she
heavy
sat
ass
there.
shit.
Wait, that was you?
No, this is me listening to her talk.
Oh, listen to her talk.
And I'm just sitting here. I didn't shoot back, but I'm just sitting here watching because I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm thinking, we always doing shit like this? This seems like some shit that got to go on in the hospital.
Yeah.
But this is somebody who she lived the life she was supposed to live by trying to be as healthy as possible. She tried her hardest, right? And it still didn't work out for her.
That's not suicide, though.
No. I'm saying, like, what do you tell them at that point?
What, cancer?
I'm saying, like, okay, are you saying that
He's saying like
The problem, right?
Their whole life they did everything right.
They did everything
everything
right,
right.
and
Everything
bad
right,
shit still
bad shit still
happens.
happens.
They
Right?
still get them.
Inevitable.
That's
No,
what I'm
but-
saying. Life,
no,
one
but
thing
the-
about life is unpredictable.
That's what he's saying.
my point is that, for example, I
Exactly.
heard that you say pretty much you were in denial or whatnot. Imagine if that person was in denial, she didn't want to accept the Lord for who he was because of her being put through that situation after trying to
That
do
happens
everything
all the
perfectly
time.
right.
That happens all. And
All the
I'm not
time.
going to sit here.
Are you going to shoot down her situation?
No, of course not.
So
I'll
why
never,
should-
see, one thing about I have to, because everybody live in a glass house. Ain't nobody perfect in this world, bro. I will promise you, I will listen and I will be so open to it. But if at the end of the day, if you want to sit here and tell me everything that you've been through, let's talk about it. And I can tell you my testimony, and then we can share the testimony. At the end of the day, I'm not aiming to force my God on anybody, because my God is the same God.
Oh, no, I'm just talking about respecting the decision that they decided to take their life. That's all I'm saying.
But
Yeah.
that's the action of suicide, bro. That is a topic that's like, I'm sorry, I can't, because every life is too valuable, bro. And I also condemn, and I also not condemn, but I congratulate you and I thank God for you that you're still here. You know what I'm saying? I really do.
But you
Everybody does have a timeline. And okay, so
If I'm not a doctor, in
but
10
if you
years,
say, but hold on, but if you say that everything is preordained, then God knew that you were going to do that anyway.
That's what.
Based on that,
Yeah.
if everything is preordained, then God knew that
Exactly
she was
what
going
it
to do
is.
that.
Yeah.
If
And to be honest
everything-
with you,
if everything was preordained, there should be no surprises.
And there
God
wouldn't
should not be
be.
sitting there like she do it.
And guess
no,
what?
he should know that that's coming.
there's been plenty
That's
of people who have not become martyrs for doing that. There's people who have become straight up like poster people because they decided to take their life after something so horrendous, right? And now they inspire other people to not do that same thing. That's true. So are they not right for doing that?
That's
they,
true.
God is not the author of
Everybody's-
suicide. God is not the author of
But you're-
killing yourself.
But
I think
at
I
the
wanna
same
say
time,
something.
I'm
Sorry.
just saying, if he
so-
preordains all of your steps,
Are we forgetting the devil?
how is that?
I was about to say.
Oh, let him
we
start.
can-
Yeah, I'm gonna say something because I think there's something really important that we gotta talk about when it comes to suicide. That's something that I understand now, that the reason why I had all these suicidal thoughts, I had all these, I like to say, demons that were trying to tell me to take my life, is because God had something greater for me. And that's what, if anybody's listening to this and they're going through those same thoughts, and in this month, I know a lot of people go through that. So I just want to tell that person that maybe there's something so great in the future for you that you need to achieve.
There is.
And maybe right now you don't see it, but in the midst of literally this dark place that you are in right now, sometimes you just have to go through those dark. Look, all of us here, we all went through dark places. We all went through our lows, through our highs, but you need to go low to get to that high place. Because in that high place, yes,
you keep down, and also goes back to, because listen, whether people want to believe it or not, the devil exists, and he's
That's
alive. And
right.
he's alive and well, and everyone, people say I'm
and
fighting
he's
demons
whispering to
every day.
you. He's whispering to
That
you
is
every day.
the devil is a liar, y'all. And also he's an opposer.
Hey,
Everything.
bro, I feel like the only thing that somebody fighting is their own intrusive thoughts at the end of the day.
Bro,
you
it's
could call it whatever you want to call it. You call it demons. You can call it another
What do you
voice
mean by
in your head.
intrusive thoughts?
Intrusive thoughts is pretty much your mind arguing with your actual.
It's in the same boat.
Yeah, it is in the same boat. Some are your own thoughts, and some are
Right, that voice in your
No,
head.
I feel that. I feel
But they
that.
see that voice in your head, like it's telling you that you not this, but when God already told
that's
you that
not
you are
God.
that,
That's not God.
or when you're not, when you are this, when God already told you that you're not that, like the devil's an opposer, bro.
Yep.
That's what you have to understand. That's the type
you
of
can
thing
word it like that.
that's the type of being that's gonna tell you that you're not anything. You might as well take your life. But the one thing about it, the devil that made a trick, the biggest trick that the devil played on this world was telling everybody that he don't exist.
I mean, the thing is,
that's
and
right.
I mean, listen, I'm not for or against anybody's. I am for people believing what they want to believe. I will say though, if you all powerful, why you letting somebody else why you letting somebody else be out here running all over people,
What I
messing with
meant
people
by-
like that?
but
That's all I'm saying.
That's what I just said, though. You know what I'm saying?
Look.
The devil made a trick on the whole world.
I'm
saying
just
that he
saying,
don't exist.
why-
The voice that I'm talking about.
If God
in
is more powerful than the devil, why he can't just take him out?
the voice that
Why
I'm
he
talking
can't
about.
just take that
Because
nigga
of
out?
free will.
He's already
Look,
Free
here.
will.
the
He
voice
is
that-
God. Okay.
But why
That's
he
a
can't get
whole
that nigga
different
out?
story.
That's a whole different. We
That's
can
a whole
go back to the
different
book
topic.
of
I think the voice
Genesis
that-
with that one.
Go ahead. Sorry.
The
go
voice in y'all head that I'm talking about is actually so. For example, think about before you make a decision, right? And I think that a lot of people start to lose track of who they are because they never actually sit down and think about who they actually are. Nobody even has time to themselves nowadays. You're always in your fucking phone
the
looking like
phone,
this.
social
You
media.
you're always around somebody else. You probably got no
trying to be
quiet time to
somebody else.
yourself.
Talk to 'em.
When you start to have quiet time to yourself, you know, literally, if you were in a complete quiet room and you could only think to yourself, you would probably go crazy. They literally say that all the time.
No, you
or like the drop
Because
of
you
water
literally
thing.
can't.
You heard-
But that's
you heard the drop of water thing.
That's-
There was like a drop
Yeah.
of water in the corner, and you just hear that nonstop.
it
You
starts
go
to make you
insane.
hallucinate. So
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's because the truth is we're not meant to be solitary.
I feel like there's a power in
Like
thought, though.
no, mind you, there's power in having alone time. But the reason why, if you were in a room by yourself, you'd go crazy, is because we are meant to interact with other people.
And to be honest-
we are meant to have that
And we
interaction.
also
Says
get
in
lost
the
in
Bible,
imagination.
Me personally,
I feel like, we be helping each other and shit.
Yeah, so we need both. There
But I'll
needs to be a
real.
balance.
Me personally, I don't feel like I've ever made rational decisions if I didn't ever stick to thinking to myself sometimes. Like, I see a lot of
Yeah.
people who, whenever they make a decision, they got to go ask their friend or
No,
ask their
you
partner. Or,
you
like,
need
if
to
you-
take that time to think to yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you can never. It's like you asking a group leader for shit. Like, I'm over here asking Shay.
A group
What?
A group
I'm
leader.
over here asking a group leader for shit. And everything.
Shay, the group leader.
Yeah, Shay the group leader.
You got group leader energy.
But point is like you never take that time to think to yourself and figure out who you really are, and that's why you lose yourself along the way. And you start letting them intrusive thoughts really get to you because the person who you really are behind, like the person who you never actually talk to in your head, is telling you, "Oh, you suck, you're insecure." Instead of you actually overcoming that voice in your head, saying, "No, I am strong. Yeah,
That's
I am
right.
a good
That's
person."
when you actually start doing stuff.
Exactly.
That's
Until you
exactly
actually sit there and like.
I think that you definitely have to come into a space, and it's like I said, it comes back to purpose. You have to come into a space of confidence, and you do have to come into a space of like, yeah, maybe I can consult other people, maybe I can, get other perspectives, but at the end of the day, like, I need to be strong enough in my own resolve, and I need to be
Exactly.
strong enough in myself,
Like,
and I need to be strong enough in my core.
'Cause
Yeah,
you can
exactly. I have to
give-
be strong enough in my
Like
core
with
to be
your,
able to do
coaching
those
guide.
things.
You can have it on there. You can tell people what to eat and this and that and the third, but it's up to them to do it.
Yeah, it's about how you like. For example,
Everything a choice.
Everything in
Nah.
life.
Hey,
Now you're talking to me, Shay.
Free will.
Come
I
on,
didn't
man.
say. I'll leave it at this because I know Briah want to keep on pushing
It
forward with
is.
the questions, but I'll leave it at this. You can be your greatest enemy while being your best friend, and that's true. I'm pretty sure sometimes y'all probably been hard on yourselves and thought, "Damn, I can't do this." Or
Don't give up, bro.
or,
I never think that.
You know, but hey,
No,
but
I'm not saying that in terms of confidence. I'm saying that in terms of like every single time I get thrown a curveball and I'm weird like this. Even if that thought even starts to cross my mind, what I tell myself, like my motto in life is the plan doesn't change. Like the plan is the plan doesn't change. If I feel like there's something that I want to do, if there's something that I'm shooting for, if there's something that I'm striving for, I don't give a shit how many I don't care how many turns I have to make. It's
Don't
like
give
it's like a navigation, right? Here's where you start, here's where you stop. I don't give a shit how many turns I gotta make.
So number one, what is your life motto?
I did
We'll
mine.
start with
Y'all
Nohemi
go.
and then we'll just go around.
What is your life? Like, explain that.
Like, what do you live by? Like,
What do you live by? Okay.
what keeps you
Gotcha,
going?
gotcha.
Words to live by.
What keeps me going? My relationship with God.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you want me to say more. Elaborate. I mean, I just feel like I found my purpose, and my purpose is in God. And everything that I want to do is, and I know everybody got different beliefs, but for me, that's what saved me from the dark place that I was in.
yeah.
Finding God was, and I had to have my own encounter because I was born and raised in church since I was a little girl, but I didn't give my life to Christ. I actually ended up having a relationship with him till after I graduated high school. And that's when, because I was literally at rock bottom, that's when I was like, you know what, like, God, like, let me try this God thing my parents keep on telling me about, my family keep on telling me about. And when I actually tried it, I tasted it and I saw his goodness.
Try a
So
little
in
sprinkle of
that-
this Jesus.
So in that, yeah. So in that,
Honey.
so in that, I found that I actually want to walk in the purpose that he has for me. So yeah, that's my answer.
And anyhow, praise. So that's what basically I'm speaking on Friday too. Anyhow / but God. So I speak out what I'm doing or speak out what I'm going through, whatever hardship I'm going through, and I finish that sentence with "but God." So because that keeps me grounded, because I remember what He took me out of.
Yeah.
I remember how He saved me, how He fixed my situation within a short time, and I go back to where I actually found Him, or He found me actually, and He kept me. So that anyhow praise / but God, that's my phrase right there.
Briah, what about you?
Mine, I would say control what you can control. Let everything else take care of itself. I think a lot of times we kind of get caught up in like, think about it, like when we're upset or weary or anything like that, it's about things that we have really
No
no
control
over.
But when we got control, like you control what you can control.
That's true.
Do what you're supposed to do. Everything else is gonna work out how it's supposed to, whether you agree with it or not.
That's right.
I like that.
Outside of sticking to the plan, I will say, and I started by saying this at the beginning, there is no room, there is no space that you are in, that you are entering, that you are working towards, that you do not belong in.
That's right.
Walk in the confidence.
Right.
Walk in the confidence of knowing
And
that
own
you
it.
are not in any space that you do not belong. You deserve to be there
Talk about
and
that.
walk
That's
in that
crazy.
confidence.
They need you.
Yeah. Oh, just before I say anything, I just want to say, y'all, I don't want y'all to think that I don't respect anybody religious beliefs. I fully respect everybody.
because
I listen to everything. Just want y'all to know.
I don't want you to think I'm like.
We have
No,
healthy, we have healthy debate.
This
It's
is
fine.
fine.
It's fine.
No,
Praise
Jesus,
the
like, for real.
Healthy
My mother
conversation.
is somebody who's very religious. She'll talk all day about it. Like, literally. My mother, nah, you ain't meet her, but if you met her, you would talk all day.
We know.
But-
Y'all would talk. Y'all would talk all day.
all day. 'Cause she,
Listen, y'all would talk mama all day.
her faith is unbreakable, and I respect that so much.
Very
Because I'll
much
be
so.
real with you, I probably could never see myself in that same position for that, but I see myself in that position for other stuff already, and I love that because I want people to like have, like, for example, as Zalo said, have faith, and faith doesn't have to be in just. It could be in another person. It could be in just the fact that it could be anything in this planet.
Find
Just
faith
find
somewhere.
faith somewhere. All right, but with me, as far as like what I live by, as far as the motto is to be just better than yesterday. All right, I like to. I've been worried lately because I was listening
Be
to
1% better.
I would listen to, and I had to drop
hear
that
my
just
dog.
because
Stop
I was getting a lot
playing.
of backlash for the 1%. Oh, that's Atomic Habits. It's a lot different, bro.
What?
Atomic Habits dropped the, to just be 1%, or do an extra 1% every day or something like that, or just take it 1% at a time to do the little things.
Yeah.
Mine is not to do the little things. It's to, okay, cool, you did something today. You don't got to be the best tomorrow, but show up and do a little bit more tomorrow. That's
Right.
what mine
Yeah,
is.
for sure.
So
That's
be
what's
better than yesterday. And what I been listening to lately, I listened to a podcast and somebody said, like, talked about what Kobe Bryant used to talk about on the court, and he said booze don't block dunks. If you got people criticizing you, you got people looking at you some type of way, guess what? They can't stop you for what they said. All right.
No.
Only way they're gonna stop you is they physically throw themselves in front of you like a freight train. And guess what? At that point,
That's
that's different. Exactly. Exactly.
I don't
But-
think y'all like that.
But no form of criticism.
I don't think y'all like that.
No, but how
I'll
many?
play with you, but don't play with me.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord.
How many times have you heard somebody? How many times have you heard somebody say they stopped because of what somebody said or what somebody thought about them? Oh, yeah, they didn't like my clothing. Oh, yeah, they said my podcast is boring. Oh man, they didn't think I was funny no more. Fuck all that. You better get your ass
Be like,
up.
I don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
You're
So
the
get
only
up
one
there.
that's gonna stop yourself.
Exactly. So booze don't block dunks at the end of the day. All right, that's what I
feel
really
that.
been living by.
Word up. Word up.
Me, what I live by is just really just being yourself, bro. Like being yourself, and not in an ignorant way, but just don't care what nobody think, bro. Like
Humble.
at the end of the day, bro.
Do you?
Like,
At the end of the
be,
day, humble
like
to
you said,
yourself,
like,
man.
be
Do
humble,
pure.
be yourself, be pure.
Yeah.
Be authentic.
Be authentic.
Authenticity.
Don't
People,
care what nobody think about you, man. Do
in
it.
all seriousness, yes, because people can spot authenticity.
Oh yeah.
People respond to authenticity. It's the energy with authenticity.
Especially with social media platforms, they know when you trying to.
We know when you being fake. Stop it. We don't care about your fake ass.
Gary Vee just said that. Hey, Gary Vee. I just was listening to a video. He said most people will respect the guy who knows that he has it. He just can't figure out how to push it out. Right? You respect the guy that knows that he has it. He just can't get it out. Like y'all seen that person, but the person who completely fakes it, that's just.
We don't want none of that.
We don't
You don't
need
want
that.
it.
That's why the algorithm working in not your favor. Praise the Lord. The algorithm is not on you.
But even
Nah, really
not even just the algorithm. Even when you meet people in person, you
No,
know
facts,
somebody
though.
that's not about the type of lifestyle that
Yeah.
they're living
Yeah.
or the stuff that they talking about.
Yeah.
You done probably met people that talk about being a part of the church and they just not living that type of lifestyle at all.
It's a trend.
Exactly.
It
So
becomes a
for
trend.
exactly. So you have plenty of people that do stuff like that, and you can spot it from a mile away.
Yeah,
right?
that's where your
So-
discernment comes in.
Discernment.
Listen, man. So when you being yourself,
These are
it
not
may
quick
sound
hitters.
it may sound ignorant sometimes,
long
bro.
hitters.
It may sound ignorant, but when you being yourself, say you run into a hardship where you know that's the wrong thing to do, but you do it anyways. But at the end of the day, each of us are learning, man. Like we
That's
gotta
true.
learn. That hardship
We do
is a
have to
hardship,
learn.
We gonna learn.
Learn
and
from
we
your
gonna
choices.
keep going on.
You
to
gotta
that-
learn
to
from
that next
everything.
stage.
Reap what you sow.
Exactly.
Tell you
You got a
something.
baby laying it.
Like they say,
Exactly, bro.
they
Like,
say that shit
Learning
all the
is
time.
important.
They say intelligence is universal. Everybody got the intelligence. You know that across the road when a car coming. All right, Intelligence is universal.
Some people
But
ain't
to
got no
apply
common sense,
information, applying information is something you have to learn over time. And you can only apply that information through trial and error. The reality is,
The only difference between intelligence and stupidity is that intelligence has a limit.
so it's like when it comes down to it, like for real, think about how many times you actually like knowledge is power only when it's applied. That's really what it is, because there's plenty of people that go to the graveyard with plenty of dreams as well as plans to execute them dreams and never had a chance to. All right, I know plenty of people who I probably seen. Like for example, the last conversations I was having with Philip, he was talking about doing all types of stuff. All right, very knowledgeable, but the knowledge never got applied, so it didn't matter. It was gone at that point. Information is only useful when it's actually being used.
Yeah, when it's actually being put to work. When you actually put the work.
And that's
in,
why when you
'cause-
talk about making a bad decision, all right, when you think about making a bad decision, apply the information you already learned. If you ain't learned it yet, then I guess it's about time you learn it now.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like
Learning.
kids.
What do you wish you learned sooner?
Lord have mercy.
Exactly what I literally just said. That knowledge is only power. When
Yeah, quick.
I wish, well, if I can change something, I wish I was like, I took that control. Like, I don't want to, like, if I want to take things out of my control. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish I learned that I could not control things around me. It's not up to me. So, I'm not the one to be able, I can't form shapes in the air and stuff and then the third. I have to learn that my limits are my limits and I cannot overly step my limits because that's when I hurt myself. So people can't benefit from me if I'm not here. So simple as that. So, yeah.
I wish, dang, I have so many, but I wish I learned that it's okay to be weak in some moments of your life.
Praise the Lord. Yes, sir.
Because sometimes, because of society and because of how culture is, being raised in a Hispanic home, like parents are always like, you know, you gotta be strong, like you can't be wimp. But I always grew up as like an emotional person. Yes, and I, like, part of the reason why I was driven to so much like suicidal thoughts and everything was because I was trying to suppress all those feelings and it was driving me crazy.
Yeah.
So now I'm like embracing my emotional side and learning that it's okay to have moments of weaknesses. You feel me? The important part is what you do right after that. You know, getting right back up
Yeah.
from that place
Go
and
ahead and talk,
just
sister. Praise the Lord.
moving forward.
Like Aaron said.
I'll just go
piggybacking
last.
on what Naomi said, I feel like my younger days, I wish that I learned that it was okay to be sad, to be emotional.
Black men be emotional.
You know what I'm saying?
Can I have a high five on that?
Just all of that, like just I don't even know how to say it, man. Like just embracing that, cause at the end of the day, like, you know, you embrace that, at the end of the day you gonna grow and you gonna be like, damn, like that's how I felt, and you gonna look back and be like, I'm here now. You feel me? So
That's
I know
right.
how to actually deal with it. I know how to accept myself
Yeah.
as a person. So it's okay to feel like that.
In
now.
the midst of all the tears, you still gonna
Probably,
be somebody.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. So it's just about
Yeah.
really just accepting growth. Really,
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying?
That's
Yeah.
right.
I think for me, it's that I don't always have to perform well under pressure. The same water that hardens the egg softens the potato. Like it is okay. The same boiling water that
Oh.
softens the potato
Okay. Sorry.
hardens the egg, right?
For
This-
sure.
It's the same situation, but it does two different things, right? And so I think I wish I would have learned sooner that, like, I don't always have to. I'm not always gonna be the egg. Sometimes I'm gonna be the potato, and that's okay. Quick hitters, go.
Wait, go like.
Yeah. What else? What else you
You
want
want me
to
to
ask?
answer the question, or you want me to?
Are you? Yeah. What is? What's, your,
Oh,
what's
okay.
yours? You have to answer.
I'm young, so like.
It doesn't
And I,
matter.
no. I say that to say like, it's so much that I've had to learn.
Yeah.
And just like adult life, so I would like, I'm gonna give
Paying
y'all
bills.
a few things. Number one, I would say like, everything's not gonna be perfect.
That's right.
I'm like, I
No.
catch myself
Sure.
sometimes
Perfect.
like trying to be a perfectionist.
Same.
Everything's not gonna be perfect. perfect. 2, be more present. You don't get the same things twice, 3 times, 4 times. You don't get it. Be present. So many times in my life, I thought back. I'm like, damn, I wish I could go back. Be present.
Can't.
3, your peace, your inner peace means more than anything in the
That's
world.
right.
Anything in the world.
Facts.
And 4, I'm gonna say, take things for what they are and don't try to make them what they're not.
That's it right there, boy.
Drop, just drop,
I'm
dropping
that statement a little
back.
further though. I like that.
All right, let's
Chicken?
knock out the last 2.
Yes.
All right. What character trait within yourself are you most proud of?
Oh yeah.
I'll go ahead and I don't want to sit there and take up too much time. I know I keep talking too much.
Just no, one word answer.
Yeah.
One word.
Don't
You gotta choose one
don't
word.
extrapolate. One word. One word answer.
I'm very,
And me.
I would say empathy. I sit there, like when people talk, I swear to God, I never just sit there and try to hear words. I try to listen to really what they're trying to say, and I try to really think about a deliberate response, like to go after it, because like without that, like first off, nobody wants to talk to you if you're not actually listening to what they're saying. And second off, you never really broaden your perspective if you don't understand where somebody else is coming from. So that's the main thing.
My outgoingness. I love the fact that I'm able just to speak to anybody. I'm very extroverted, you know, and I'm also like, it's empathy, you know what I'm saying? Like I like to listen to people's feelings, because one thing with me, your feelings matter in everything you do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really just glad I'm able to speak to people.
I think kind of like what Kobe said, that I'm able to listen to other people and that I'm able to really understand, like, because very few people in this world know how to listen, and it drives me crazy. Exactly, and be neutral.
People will listen, but they'll just be like,
Exactly.
They be like a
Close-minded.
loaded gun ready
Exactly.
to shoot you down. You
Yeah,
feel me? Like,
exactly.
come on,
Very
like,
close-minded.
They listen to argue, not to respond.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And it's okay to listen and just absorb everything what a person is saying. Also, like we've been saying, like I don't like to input my religion in everything, or like the relationship that I have with God. I feel like with the person that I am, it's just gonna show naturally.
Yeah.
Facts.
So
you ain't gotta say nothing.
yeah,
The president's
exactly.
gonna do it for you.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, that's one of the traits that I love about myself.
That's what it should do, though. I ain't gonna lie. If it's
Yeah.
part of your lifestyle, it should show in
It
everything.
should
that you
show.
do.
It's gonna the president's gonna give off itself. Like I ain't even gotta tell nobody that I'm a firm believer.
Yeah,
in the man
it
of God.
shows her immediately.
Yes.
I don't gotta say I'm religious. You know I got that.
Oh, me? Okay. I guess for me, I feel like the trait that I'm most proud of would probably just be my perseverance. I feel like I feel like there's so much, like I've just had a lot happen in life. But I feel like for me, I just keep pushing. I keep pushing. I keep trying. And I think also I will say optimism. Like it annoys my husband sometimes, because he's like why you he's like you can't be trying to find the bright side and everything, and I'm like, I would much rather do that than do the alternative. So I think I try to find the good in something. I try to find something good in something, even in the bad. I try to find it, and because I think that's what helps me with the perseverance. I think it helps me keep pushing towards the next thing. So
Life is good,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Real bad, like, it's good.
Me, the trait that I love about myself is how hard I love. Like the people who I guess who I'm supposed to
That's
love.
deep.
I guess
Like,
I just
you know what? Hey,
that's just me. I
go take it,
I love that trait because shoot, I don't know, like
already?
I don't know. I love hard. I don't know what
Did
it
you
is.
go?
I just
You went already, right?
it makes me keep going.
Yeah.
That's
You know what I'm
cute.
saying?
We
Like,
love that.
yeah.
Last one, Briah.
My character trait that I'm most proud of is my resilience.
Never give
We
up.
love that.
And I say that about myself because, like, anybody who know me knows, like, and I hate to make this about, like, basketball, but anybody who knows me knows basketball was, like, my everything. Anybody who knows me knows that. And for me to be able to find myself, who I am, in life without it,
That takes a lot.
That's right.
It's like what
rough,
they say.
when I say rough, like the hardest thing that I've been through, by far. But to be able to do it and be on the other side,
Proud of you.
Resilience, man.
You
What's up, bro?
Appreciate it.
Proud of you, girl. That's what I'm talking about.
I think
Yeah.
you are the shining
you
of an
did.
example of what when they say if you are what you have and what you have is lost, who are you? Like for you to be able to come out of that and say I still know who I am, that's a big deal.
That's beautiful, bro.
That's a big deal.
That's what's up.
So our last one is kind of, it's gonna create conversation. So
Oh Lord, have mercy.
take time. if
It's
you
the
need
last
to.
conversation
But
though.
how do you want to be remembered?
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Would it go first?
Okay.
Of course. Oh no, but wait. Of course, y'all two would go first, huh?
I mean, I'm just trying to sit there. And
Y'all
I'm
would.
trying to get the silence out. You feel me?
Y'all would.
Go ahead, Tony. Go ahead. Do you think? Let me go ahead and get on thoughts.
So even when I decide to go into connections and stuff like that, like even like for example, I'll go and use the example of the women I deal with in my life. Like for example, anytime I ever had a connection with another woman, like we never end on bad terms because I put it down as anybody who I even meet, I try not to end on bad terms because I look at it like this: I want to be remembered as somebody who left a positive impact in some way, shape, or form. So for example, even if you didn't like something I did, like maybe for example I decided to, Lord forbid, maybe I stepped out on you, all right? Regardless, I still want to try to gel that connection right back together because, although that's something that's bad, I can do even more good.
You
all right?
better not be stepping out. We
And-
raised you better than that.
But point is like, I'm just giving an example. I definitely ain't doing that, you feel me? But the same thing, I'm just giving an example. So even like, for example, anybody who I ever do wrong, I try to do right tenfold.
Yeah.
Because the reality is that, like, we ain't going to be here forever. And the last thing I want to do is be in a graveyard and not have people at the funeral, caring for me or loving for me and seeing me on to the next, life, whatever that may be. I would hate to leave an impact that was negative in a light where people see you and they don't think that you actually were worth anything. Because there's plenty of people that get, they die every day and they have nobody to even surround them in the long run. And then one of the top 5 regrets for people in nursing homes that they asked about was, what was one of your regrets? And it's, losing all their friends and family. And they asked them why. And it's for shit like that. Because they were never positive. You know what I mean? So,
Well, you see, to piggyback on what you're saying is, I want to be able to leave a stamp on people's hearts.
yeah.
I want to be left as an example, because even if I did somebody wrong, I want to be an example of how to do it right, how to end it off right.
Exactly.
I want to put God first in everything that I do. I want to give him praise for everything that I do, because nothing is of me. You know what I'm saying? So everything that I've been handed to is not because of me. And I want people to understand that, like, Brandon Mufasa was a dude full of positivity. The energy was immaculate,
Exactly.
but the one thing that radiated off of him was his spirit for God, was his spirit and love for God, and the confidence that he had in the faith. I've had somebody tell me not too long ago, my homeboys that's from Jersey, he said, I don't know why I feel so comfortable talking to you. He's like spilling his whole life story to me and all his whole life problems. But I said, there's a reason why this connection still happens. You get what I'm saying? But that's another conversation, but I'm not going to take up too much time. But that's what I want to be left for. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to leave that positivity and the comfortability in people's hearts.
And you do that, my boy. I ain't
That's
seen you
right.
in a minute, and all I think about you positivity, my boy.
I appreciate
remember
that.
From the time I met this man, you was reading a book like this in detention.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that man right there, he a little different.
But for real, I ain't
He
gonna
a
lie.
little different right there.
Nah, bro. I
Nah,
remember
one of
that.
the-
That's crazy.
One of the best things that I heard, like one thing I hear from everybody who I be meeting is, one, they say you're exactly how I thought you were going to be in person. That's first. And second is, I don't meet people like you all the time. That's the next thing. And that always like puts that gives me like a sense of like a joy, because I'm like, damn, that's exactly what I was going for.
Yeah.
I don't like to be somebody I'm not, but I definitely don't want to be somebody I don't want to be to somebody
Facts.
else. Right? That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Squad.
It's the wave off.
She came back in a whole different outfit too.
It's the wave off. Girl said.
We gonna have to cut this part.
You go ahead, come in. Yeah.
We gonna have to move the camera
It's all right.
back.
The camera, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, why?
Somebody check it, make sure that the position's still good.
It should be. It's on a tripod.
Okay. Yeah. It's
Might
still-
want to go behind it.
Yeah, you might go behind
It's just
it.
gonna pick up that angle.
I'm about to say
You come out here too, bro. What the camera is? This one is
It's both of them.
It's all right.
So
Hey, the boy got to stand there like a mannequin.
yeah, like back.
With the heat.
He's struggling.
Gonzalo, check that camera and see if you can see him.
you will get to see back
Yeah. See it? Oh, I don't think they.
I was standing
I don't
right
think
there,
they
so I
can
don't
see.
think they
Yeah.
can see
You
me
can
right
see
there.
him?
See nothing on this one.
Yeah.
It's a dark screen because it's
Yeah, cause it's.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
It's
You
okay.
don't get to see it. It's good.
All right.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, okay. What was the question?
How do you want to be remembered?
Okay. I guess this is difficult, but I guess for me personally, I guess I just want to be remembered for how I made people feel.
Yeah.
And I think about that as a wife, as a mother, right? As a person, as someone, as an author, right? I want to be remembered for how I made other people feel. I want people to have gotten something from me that I guess, like you were saying, is positive, but I also want, I guess me, I'm the kind of person, I love intelligence, I thrive on intelligence, and I would love for every single person who met me to feel like they came away learning something. I want everyone to feel like they came away learning something new, learning something either about themselves, learning something about life, just learning something. I want, I just want to be somebody that, when I die, my kids, like, damn, I miss my mama, bro. can't nobody do like my mama. Like, I want to be remembered as someone who loved other people, who they loved, and who felt like, they always learned something from me. So.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
So for me, I think I want to be remembered as a woman of God who truly loved God and persevered in everything that she did, and who was super fervent in worshiping Him. And God gave me the gift of music, and for me that's something super powerful. But I don't want to be remembered as the best singer. I just want to be remembered as someone who definitely gave their life in their entirety to Christ, and that through the circumstances, she remained faithful to God, because God is always faithful to us. And I say this because I feel like it's the least that I can give Him for everything that He's done for me. So yeah, that's me.
Thank you. Me, I just want to be remembered as just that genuine person. You know what I'm saying? Just everybody who I come across, I try to touch them in any way, bro. Like just being able to motivate them too. You know what I'm saying? And just really just being that high figure for them. Like people, I ain't gonna lie, growing up, people look at me as this person who always, you know what I'm saying, because I played basketball my whole life, whatever, just this cocky person and this and that, who on the team, who feel like they got it all. My whole life, I never even been like that. Just my mindset was just really trying to help the next person, really, like, just being that genuine person, having great vibes, like, that's what I live for.
Speak on that word, bro. Great. You've been great. Oh,
Great.
The vibes are immaculate.
Yeah, facts.
you've been great.
I want to be remembered as somebody who, number one, put their morals before anything. Somebody who valued integrity, somebody who was honorable, somebody who was a leader, and somebody who showed up for the people they loved the most.
She's the group leader.
Anybody who knows that, anybody who knows me knows, you call Briah, she's there. And she's gonna be honest. She's gonna be herself. And she's gonna be who you need her to be in that moment that you need her to be. And so somebody who's just honorable and valued integrity and put their morals before anything.
For sure.
That's beautiful.
Proud of you.
All right,
Real proud of you. Real proud of you. Real proud.
That is such a great note to end on.
Yes, it is.
I have one more question.
No, that's it. That was the last
No,
question.
that was the last one. Finally,
shit.
it took forever. It only took us 2 hours.
Oh my God.
Comes like I need more questions. More.
Now I'm gonna drop a little gem on them real quick. I want y'all to remember, even the bad day is somebody else's luxury, or even somebody else's bad day is your luxury. So just remember that shit. You might be thinking you had a bad day. Guess what? All right, somebody else got it worse. So
Somebody else has cancer and you don't have cancer.
And most times it's a bad moment in the day that you create a bad day.
That's true, because you have to
create
think.
the mind. Listen,
You
when
got
you
all that
think
time.
it's gonna happen.
You gotta think. You have all that time in the day. It's like what they say. If you have thousands of seconds in a day, one bad second should have messed up your day. Just the same way, if you had thousands of dollars, one lost dollar ain't gonna make you be like, damn, what I'm gonna do about this
I ain't
dollar?
gonna lie, I've had a couple Karens like that in customer service. So
You
praise the Lord.
you're not gonna be like, damn, what I'm gonna do about this dollar? So don't act like that about that 1 second.
But never give up, y'all. And I really hope that you understand the moral of this. What is your purpose? Because everybody has a job to do. But your job is to first off accept who you are, understand who you are, get to know who you are, and then move forward. Keep moving forward no matter what. That's pretty much I got.
They said that in a Disney movie once.
I ain't even finished talking real quick, y'all.
Anime.
Oh
But,
my God, they
Back to
gonna talk
the
us
title of the podcast is "What is your purpose?" So like when it comes down to what's your purpose, So everybody out there, when you don't know what to do what you do know, but make sure you do that shit consistently. So that's really that's all I wanted to leave it on.
Do it well, do it right.
Well, thank you guys for watching another episode of Boxing Wonder Podcast. Thank you guys for being here. I love you guys.
Thank you, and we
Thank
love
you,
you.
Briah.
Yes,
And we
Lord.
like that though. I ain't gonna lie, we like that.
Yeah, we really different.
Yeah.
I don't know what camera I'm looking at, but we different. Then,
We really out here. Yeah.
Crazy.
I'm really out here though. I'm Deandra.
M3 Kobe.
Mufasa.
Nohemi.
Donshay.
Thank you guys for watching.